Wild-bytes TV, Indian Wildlife Club's YouTube channel, is proud to be in conversation with Raj Narayan,
Thank
a
you
world traveler.
Thank you for having me here today.
Yuvraj was born in India, brought up in India, worked in London for quite some time,
Yes.
then decided to give up a lucrative career to travel the world, meet people, and learn things. Over to Yuvraj.
Well, thank you. Yes, so I was born in Pune, and my father was in the army, so he traveled a fair bit in India every 4 years. So I got an experience of learning Hindi to Marathi to Sanskrit to French in all shapes and forms. And then I came over to England to study and do my MBA. And then I was lucky enough to get a job over here in the financial services industry. I was in the business for 15 years. And then I was actually doing a trek across the Sahara Desert, where I think it was the third or the fourth day in the middle of the desert. We were all having dinner, and I realized that in the middle of all of this sand, we get very little food, very little water. There isn't much around because you're carrying all your stuff. But I was just so content. I was just so satisfied with life, and I started to get this sensation or this feeling that I have enough. So my boss, who had told me that, okay, you can go on this trek, but on one condition: you don't take any major decisions for 3 months after coming back. I came back. So I came back from the trek. I think on the third day I handed my resignation letter to him, and I said, I have enough. I've had enough of this. Now I want to try something else. And it's been the most incredible journey ever since. I felt this urge to go and see the world and to do things which, as a traditional Indian person, I hadn't done before, which was to go backpacking. So I pretty much bought a one-way ticket to Vietnam, and then I spent 3.5 months exploring Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos, and I met the most incredible people there. And when I was in Cambodia, all these people, I used to stay in hostels, regular hostels, in dorms, and I would highly encourage people to do that. I met people in the dorms in Cambodia who we got along so well. They said, hey Raj, you would really enjoy going to Thailand. So that's how I ended up in Thailand. When I was in Thailand, I met absolutely new set of people, and they all say, hey Raj, you would really enjoy spending time in Laos. You should go and explore Laos. And that's how I ended up in Laos. And I actually spent last year around June, July in Laos. And when I met some people over there, they said, you should really go to Myanmar. That is an incredible country. And all of these countries have amazing history, amazing culture, delicious cuisine. I love food. And I got a chance to go and visit all of these countries in a very simple way. And I do believe most of us can do it, but there's something holding us back. We all are in the same hostel. We all are spending a lot of time together, and we all are all quite unique in the way we behave. For example, I was very impressed that I got a chance to spend a lot of time with Germans, Swiss, Italian, Spanish, Mexicans, Australians, Americans, South Koreans, and all of us have our own unique cultures, which I found fascinating. I, for one, believe that I organize things, plan things quite well. But when I was going to these different places, and we used to create small groups informally, and then I would happily just give away the responsibility to somebody from Germany, because they really were so well organized. And it could be an 18-year-old girl or a 38-year-old man. All of them they just knew exactly how to get there, what to do, how much to pay, and that was incredible. If you really wanted to have a lot of fun, you had the Aussies who could, my God, drink a lot and really go and party quite well. So I learned a lot about different cultures over there and how we all come from different backgrounds, but we can get along so well. I think that was for me the biggest learning, that we can really get along well.
So you made a lot of friends during those travels, and do they remain in touch with you?
Yes, the people I met in Cambodia, they were from France and from Netherlands, and I actually went and visited them in France, in Montpellier. That's why I got a chance to see a beautiful part of France, Montpellier, and how people actually live, not as a tourist, but staying in somebody's house, I ended up in a small town called Leiden in Netherlands. Again, they were the people I had met in Cambodia. And very recently, I did a trek across from France to Spain. It's called Camino de Compostela, Compostela de Santiago, sorry. And it's an 800-kilometer trek starting in France, finishing in Santiago in Spain. And I, again, made a lot of friends over there. And we're still in touch. And we are planning on doing the same trek again next year.
Amazing, that's a long distance you walked.
Yes, took us around 37 days, but it was a mind-blowing experience. I would highly recommend it. People say they don't have money. These treks cost no money. Very little money, I would say. They do cost a bit of money. But we have people coming in from Brazil, from Germany, France, everywhere. And all you have to do is, our hostels used to cost around anywhere between 5 to 10 euros a night, and the food could cost you around 5 euros a night. So 5 euros a day, so that's around 15 euros a day, and so basically, you know, around for 1,000 euros you could have done the whole trek. And my travels are relatively cheap. It's not that expensive. So in my home month in Myanmar costed me around $1,000, I think. And yeah, the Camino trek was again another 1,000 euros. For many people it's a lot of money, but for a vast majority of people it's not that big a sum of money anymore. And the girl who came from Brazil to walk the Camino de Santiago, she had saved money for more than a year. So if you're really dedicated towards it, I do believe you can do it.
Yeah, money can't really become a constraint. You will find ways of traveling.
Exactly. I met a lot of people who did not have much money. They just had enough to get to the country. Some of the things they did, so they used to volunteer in the hostel. So they got food in the hostel. They got accommodation in the hostel. And so they didn't have to pay for that. So even with very limited budgets, people can travel a lot. I met people from Philippines and Argentina and lots of other countries where these people did not have money, but they had the real passion to go and engage and go to another country and visit it. It is absolutely incredible. I was in a place called Bagan in Myanmar, and the temples over there were built 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
To be just roaming around there on a scooter with a bunch of people from other parts of the world and reading about the history is incredible. Or you could be doing these amazing treks in, as I said, in Myanmar, or in Cambodia. There is a place called Siem Reap where I think the biggest Hindu temple is, Angkor Wat.
Yeah.
And again, it is quite easily accessible. Now, very easily accessible, and there's no reason why we shouldn't go and see the world. I haven't met too many Indians in hostels, and my understanding is that we Indians like to stay in a nice, comfortable hotel or in an Airbnb and not I wouldn't say to rough it out, but not stay in a hostel. But I think if you want to meet people from the world, hostel is the most social environment to do it.
It gives you greater opportunity of interacting with the others.
Yes, and especially some people say in India we don't have money. Well, then the cheapest form of travel is actually to go and stay in hostels, where it could be costing you around anywhere between $5 to $10 a night.
Well, that's almost very small change.
Yes, for a lot of Indians that is very small change and is a possibility. There are a lot of hostels which have opened up in India now in the last 4 years, and I would encourage a lot of Indians to start staying in hostels over there and meet people from different places. I know there is a movement, and I really want to encourage the movement. The other thing people tell me is that, oh, I'm too old to do it. I'm more than 40 years old. If I can do it, anybody can do it. My first solo travel was at the age of 41. So you have to be mentally fit, physically fit, and emotionally fit, and you should be very open to ideas, to talk to people, and not come across as somebody, I know best and I will tell you what you should do. No, just listen to them, listen to everybody, and learn from them. I don't normally carry a book when I travel, because I feel every human being is a book. Every human being has an interesting story. So I like to listen to them and understand where they've come from, how they've come from, and that's why I find it quite fascinating. And if you're a good listener, you will be very popular.